What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Couch podcast. We have a very special episode today. We're going to be doing a different episode, something we've never done. It's going to be a story time, but I tell you, it's one hell of a story, and it's one hell of a meaning, something you're going to take from this, something that you're going to apply to your fantasy football leagues, especially Dynasty. It's very important. So if you can, please tune in or rewatch this from the beginning to the end, because I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss this from the whole thing, beginning, middle, and end. There's going to be twists, there's going to be turns, there's going to be suspense, there's going to be horror, and there's going to be a moral to the story. We're joined with special guest Cash, who is kind of like the forensics evidence unraveler of this special story. So he's going to be providing his input and telling us like what he has discovered. And of course, I'm here with Sue Shane, aka the tight end shaman, aka the Dynasty day trader, who's also you're also part of the story. And we have other stuff to talk about. So we got this crazy league going on. We have lots of actual real NFL news, not the BS people just post for clicks. That's not really news. Actual NFL news has started. And at the end, if you have any Dynasty or any fantasy football questions in general, or maybe about just life, because this story is going to hit hard, I feel like. Any questions at all, you can ask me anything at the end of this podcast. I'm here for you guys. Let's get started. Right now, the hardest thing I've done in my whole life was to write a book, because I have ADD. I can't read. I can't really write. I can write okay. I can't read. It was very difficult. And I think the second hardest thing I've ever done in my life was draft a high stakes dynasty team with a group of guys. This is top-notch challenge, but with all challenges, it's that much more rewarding. And a lot of people actually reached out to me and wanted to be part of this. I gave away my $500 buy-in. It's like, it's my money, real cash I put into this league. And I said, you guys draft for me. I'm along for the ride and I'm part of the process, but essentially you guys are making all the decisions. And it's been fun. It's nothing quite like it. It's like being in an actual NFL front office. And I must say, I think you guys are doing a great job. I think we as a team are doing amazing. We've got the draft board up right here. Now, it's a dynasty league, and we started out with Josh Allen at 1.02, Lamar Jackson 1.06, and Travis Kelce at 3.03. Oh man, I am so stoked about this start. And we are on the clock in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks, and then we're on the clock. So we'll see who we pick there at 4.07. Here's a little meme I made of myself. Got Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Travis Kelce in my beard, coming out of my beard, just like Peter Griffin in Family Guy. This is a crazy league, though. Like, this is a tongue twister, guys. So get ready. Listen closely. This is what kind of league it is. High stakes, $500 buy-in, 12-team dynasty, best ball, super flex, triple flex, tight end premium, full PPR, 26-round startup snake draft. It's intense.
11 items. Oh, man.
It's intense. But, I mean, I think the part that, like, it just magnifies it the most. Yeah, we got 11 things. But then when you put $500 on it and the money I had to deposit for next year, so I'm in 1,050 in the hole. So you guys got to dig me out.
Got to get the stubs for sure.
Yeah, it's one of the sites where you have to make a deposit for next year, so you just don't like win and leave. And also, if you trade away or even you even attempt to trade away your first round pick, you have to deposit another $250 just so these sites like this, they run it tight knit. So you can't just, yeah, that sounds terrible. We might not have to do these sound effects. Yeah. My idea may have backfired because he got the timing right. It just, but actually that one's low quality. We'll keep it going. We got these new sound effects, guys. We'll keep it going until it's like a complete failure. Then I think we'll have to.
Then we'll retire
on it. Yeah, because that's like the lowest quality sound effect. So maybe that's what it is. It's like you can't really hear it. When you pour $500 on this, like it just amplifies everything. It just makes it crazy. I didn't even know what I was saying. That sound effect caught me off guard so bad. But yeah,
League
be
for
happy for
ourselves
our team.
is a big thing.
Think of what's going on before we move on to the NFL news about the squad, about the league, the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we have three of the highest upside guys on every given week. I mean, Josh Allen, Lamar, Kelsey, those guys could put up 110 points combined. I feel like any given week, and I feel like that's just going to be a huge advantage over anybody. And I feel like a lot of teams are going kind of young, so we might have that upper hand and snagging some value later.
Yeah, I agree. And we still have some depth to build around these studs. So it's not like we paid up to go get Josh Allen and Lamar and Kelsey, and now we're just left with nothing. We still have enough picks to make a full team. And like you said, man, I mean, we potentially could have the QB1, QB2, and tight end one on a roster right now for 2023. It's very possible.
Superflex tight end premium. That's why that's so important. And I told you guys most of the time in these leagues, or I should say vast majority of people, as I've been playing on this website and similar settings for a while, most people do overlook the tight end premium aspect to where a top 10 tight end will be in your starting lineup, as opposed to a regular PPR league where you need a top 6 tight end to crack like your flex spot. Nah, you just need a top 10 tight end. And that's not too hard to find. That's literally 10 tight ends every week, cracking that flex spot, cracking that tight end spot. Yeah, so I'm very happy. Very excited. We're just absolutely crushing it, but it's quite the challenge. And thank you guys for participating. It's been great. I had a lot of people who were interested in joining this, but I think whether they got lazy or they don't know how to use Discord, they didn't quite finish the steps to get in and contribute, which is good because we got about a dozen people contributing. And if we had like 22, then I don't know. It may have
more
been
chaos
crazy.
for sure.
Yeah, more chaos.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
for sure. Let's go into the news. We have some actual real NFL news. I saw this from TMZ, and then it just totally just exploded. I see it everywhere now. Tyreek Hill under police investigation over alleged assault battery in Miami. I don't want to misspeak about his previous allegations, but it didn't seem after we got into it, like I looked further into his previous allegations of child abuse. It seemed like it could be like, hearsay, she say, may not have ever happened, or just may have been false allegations. We don't know what actually happened or not, but there was that allegation, whether it's bogus or not. And now with this, I am actually worried. I'm not hitting the full panic button just yet, but I am very concerned. Like, this is not good news, especially after Ray Rice. The league is just absolutely cracking down on domestic violence and things like that, assault and whatnot. So let's see what happens with that. We're looking to draft a wide receiver right now on our the draft coming up, our next pick. So I don't know if we want to draft this guy.
One of the options we were looking at. So, oh boy.
Yeah, I think he was actually number 1 on our list of guys to draft. So that's pretty. Dak says take him in the 5th. I don't know at that point. Maybe we pull the trigger. I don't know. We're gonna have to talk this out. I feel like we're gonna talk about this for an hour and 10 minutes, which is it's important. Yeah, more than. Oh yeah, just I think if you combine the time text like messaging and talking. Yeah, it's gonna be like 4 or 5 hours. One of my sleepers. It's funny, man. Every time I mention this guy, actually nobody knows who I'm talking about, and I got so much better at remembering names and stuff. I still forget this guy's name. But so here's the blurb from Sleeper, which is from Per the Athletic. Patriots wide receiver Kayshon Boutte was outplayed by fellow 6th-round pick Demario Douglas, per the Athletic. He's been one of my sleepers. He's just the absolute Patriots pick, absolute prototype for a Bill Belichick wide receiver. Demario Douglas, that is. He is small. He is going to be a slot, but he is pretty solid. Other than Juju and Mike Gesicki, it's kind of, there's not much competition here. Butte, you guys think this was some report? He's not a lock to make the roster. He might be a cut. I mean, like, we wouldn't be surprised if he was cut, right?
I would be, but would not be. It's so 50-50 with this guy. I don't know.
That's what I mean. You wouldn't be surprised. That's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he made the roster. I don't think I'd be surprised if he didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm with you then.
The
Yeah.
upside's there, obviously, but the last year or so, I mean, this guy just keeps digging himself a hole, and I don't know if he can climb out of it, I guess.
Yeah, at some point the hole becomes too large, right? Too deep. So that might be where we're at.
Should I go pick up Douglas? Yes. That's I think that's a yes or no question right there. Couch nailing sleepers already. Gasecki overhaul for the. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we got sleep. I got plenty of sleep. You want another sleeper? I'll pull out Rashad Penny. That's another sleeper according to the Sports Med analytics. I mean, I guess both Dynasty and redraft. We don't like RBs in Dynasty, do we, guys? They make me want to throw up. Who cares? Just go. Just no RBs. Like, we don't even need that in that. Just RB. Ugh.
I'm with you.
other than Bijan, whatever. We don't need RBs. But I guess a little bit more of a redraft. But I'm gonna get our guy Sportsmed Analytics on the podcast soon. He said he's down. I just have to reach out to him. So he talked about it. I got it from him. He said Rashad Penny, although the public perception thinks he's injury prone, he's saying he's not. He's not any more risk of getting injured than any other running back according to his injuries. But I think DeAndre Swift is injury prone. And then on top of that, you got a good rushing team and a killer offense, which is the Eagles, and a good team overall. That matters too. I think Rashad Penny. I mean, I just don't even see people like targeting him. Probably like I feel like he's a total forgotten name. And a lot of my sleepers, just my whole career on social media and everything, is a lot of them are the most boring names. Snooze fests, sleepers, if you will. A lot of people like to pick sexy names for their sleepers, and I have them every now and then.
Sure.
Kincaid. That's not even is that a sleeper? He's the next Travis Kelce. That's a stupid. I'm stupid. That's not a sleeper. That's like top 2 tight end.
Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah, a little overhyped, maybe.
Yeah. He's better than Tony Gonzalez. He's better than Antonio Gates. He's better than everybody except Kelce. It's close. He's like Kelce Kincaid. I don't know. Yeah, I like.
I'm trying my best not to cringe, but well.
Yeah, I like the boring. I like the boring names. I think that's what's more, clickbait or giving people real sleepers that are actually slept on. I give people the real. This is another one of my takes that I'm very strong on. So I quote tweeted this. The Steelers found their RB2 for sure. Jaylen Warren. He's going to be a third down back at the very least. And those days where you saw Naji Harris getting 95% of the snaps his rookie year are long gone. That's in the past. So I do see a bounce back season for Naji Harris. When I say bounce back, I want to be specific here. I don't mean he's going to be RB3 in fantasy. I don't mean he's going to dominate. I don't necessarily even mean his stats are going to explode. I just mean that he was injured last year. And if you look at his recovery time, he got better towards the end of the season. So now that he's fully healthy, I think he'll be good. I think the team will have more confidence in him. He'll be better and his stats will improve, but not like his rookie year. Yeah, I'm not that high on Naji Harris. And also, we got Jaylen Warren. Like, this team was struggling to find a running back, so they drafted Naji Harris. And as a bonus, they got their RB2. They went from having no RBs. Who was their RBs? Benny Snell and the fast
Anthony
guy.
McFarland Jr.
Anthony McFarland, yeah. What a forgotten name, man. That guy's totally forgotten. So they had no running backs, and now they have a couple really good ones. I think in Naji Harris and Jaylen Warren. And guys, if you're missing the third down work, Naji Harris is missing third down work, he's gonna kind of suck. Because that's why he was so good his first year. Just he'll get 7 checkdowns in a game. And he'll get 95% of snaps. I looked I looked just to make sure because it was technically like 80 something percent. But I looked week 1, Naji Harris 100% snap count. Week 2, Naji Harris 95% snap count. Week 3, Naji Harris 95% snap count. So this is a fairly accurate statement. He was getting nearly 100% of the snaps if you could handle it. So those days are long gone. Yeah, I think that's all the news. A lot of Stephon Diggs rumors, but I mean, I don't know how to even sum that up. He wants to call plays and he's pissed and he's throwing a hissy fit, but I don't know. I mean, we don't know what's really happening. That's the fake news I was talking about. Yeah, we don't. I mean, there's probably something there, but it's also probably exaggerated. So
Yeah,
we don't know. So what can I say? But there is a situation there. Maybe we get Diggs in round 5 that died easily because of that. You never know.
Josh Allen stack. We're win now, so we were deciding between
Josh
those
Allen
types
stack
of
is great.
players.
Yeah, they're all great though. Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp stack or no stack. I love any of them. No mock draft on the podcast, but we can do one on Discord if you want. Join our Discord. If you need a link, let us know. I'll put you a link. You're making Cash nervous because he drafted Naji. I mean,
yeah, but it was like not super high, so I'm all good, Lewis.
It's all good because I mean, I'm saying Naji's not going to be great, but I am saying he's going to be better than last year, which I think. I mean, that's a little bit of a relief if you trust what I'm saying. It could be worse.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a fact, right? He's not going to be like he was as a rookie with Big Ben. Like I think everyone has come to that conclusion. No. Yeah, we will derive to that
for sure.
Yeah, it's nuts. Those days are over, guys. But yeah, if you do want to play Dynasty, look, I love playing on Sleeper. I love playing with my buddies. That's great. But if you want to play a little bit high stakes, and these guys actually did not pay me, all right. But I love them so much, and they love me, and they gave me my own affiliate code. It's in the description on YouTube. You can always hit me. You can always hit me up, and I will give you the code too. For any league that's $35 or up, if you use my affiliate link, you'll get $25 off if you're a new user. That's a great code. It's for FFPC. It's the home of high stakes fantasy football. I love it. If you want to check it out, the link's right there. If you want to play some high stakes, it's great. We did have some other news. Let me see. Where is it?
More news?
Yeah, okay. We had I went over it. It was someplace here. Oh, there we go. This guy. Talk about people that are forgotten. There was one more news. Sony Michel signed to the Rams. Now, I looked at Sony Michel. He was on the Rams in 2021. He actually was really good in the games he was there. So I could see why they signed him. He's familiar. He's a veteran. He was really good for the Rams. I remember also it was one of those years where the Snake McVay meme was going hard on this channel. I was like, don't trust Sean McVay, guys. He always lies about his RBs. And people are like, shut up. You're stupid. You're ugly. You're a loser. Cam Akers, my God, I worship him every day. I drafted him in all my leagues. Cam Akers is going to make you look like a dummy. And then they look like a dummy. And I looked very smart because just like it's been going, this has been an RB roulette. It's been a lot of injuries. I mean, you could chop it up to luck, but also Sean McVay has lied a lot too. So it's not just injuries or just a situation. But anyway, Sony Michel did well in 2021. 2022, he was on the chart. I mean, I forgot all this. It's so boring. Such Asian.
He was on the Chargers? I didn't even know that.
He's on the Chargers. Now, what's unique about this or not unique, but what's important about this is that the Chargers have nobody behind Eckler. It's an easy room like to try out, and you can win that RB2 job if you're decent. So with that being said, he sucked and he didn't get that job. Matter of fact, I'm looking up some quick news to kind of as a refresher. Week 12, Chargers RB Sony Michel is a healthy scratch. So, like, the dude was a healthy scratch on a team that did not have an RB2. Josh Kelly secured that role. He's okay, but I mean, like, still, he couldn't even secure RB3 roles, what I'm saying. Like, I mean, he was just totally irrelevant last year. He sucked. 2.9 yards per carry. I mean, it was just terrible. So he basically was like 1 foot out the league. So Sean McVay brings him back to be a veteran presence, compete. He may be a roster cut if he's kind of a has-been. We'll see. Now, does this make the RB room more messy? Or do we get a guy like Cam Akers or even Zach Evans for cheaper? I'm all about that value.
I don't think this moves the needle much for that room. I feel like people are just going to discount Sony Michel and just say whatever and draft Akers where he's being drafted. Because, like you said, you don't know what McShay's doing. And he's just kind of a wild card, especially with running backs. So, like, I feel like the prices aren't going to change very much.
I'm still probably drafting Zach Evans just because he's the cheapest guy and he'll probably get me points. That's my logic. I don't like any of these guys.
Fair.
Zach Evans. So let's like kind of talk dynasty. Zach Evans is a rookie, therefore he's got a little bit of that sex appeal, that rookie fever,
Sure.
Ooh, but in best ball, he's kind of a home run play guy too. If he gets a carry, he can take it to the house, which I like. So I'm kind of torn on Zach Evans, like in the league we're drafting on. We'll see. He's definitely not one of the top rookies people like, though. He's not one of the big names. So we'll see. For me, it's all about the price. I'm always a value guy. I draft for value a lot of the times. Everything I price out. But that is all the news. Now I have a video to show and to kind of intro it. It's going to be story time. So get popcorn, make some s'mores, whatever you want. Get ready for the story. I got a quick video I want to show people, and I'm not going to spoil the story time, but I did want to show this video. After you guys are done with the story time, I'll explain why I showed this. Give me a second. I'm going to get some sound in here and then explain this video. You have to do this to get the sound working. All right, here we go, guys. Watch this video. And I'm guessing, let me know if you guys heard this story after I play it, after I watch it. I don't think most people, it's just big mainstream news, this story, but I got a feeling most people in here haven't heard of this story. All right, watch this.
He's cutting open a fish.
Oh, you're
Get the out of here! Get the out of here! Oh!
all right. So this was a fishing competition where it's for big money. These are professional fishers, where the guy came in first place, and this other fisherman cut open the fish and found that he was stuffing weights in a bunch of fish, and he was winning. And now they're like, and this guy's won a lot of money. Forgive me if I get all the details wrong. I think this guy's won a ton of, like, this one was like for $10,000 or $30,000. This $30,000, but he's won $10,000 tournaments. He's won a boat. So it's like this guy's racking in 100,000 plus, and he has a boat, all from cheating. And I think he did face some legal action. So like he got to give away his license. I don't think he can be competing anymore, his fishing license, and he's facing like some kind of house arrest or something. Okay, so so this guy's seen. Have you guys heard of this story before?
Yeah,
I have. It's new for me.
You saw it, Cash?
Yeah, I have.
It's great. It's a huge story. Yeah. So it's just it's wild. And I'll tell you why I showed that. It's very important to me. But we do have a crazy story coming up. So let me go ahead and switch over here. Are you guys ready for the story? Once upon a time. All right, let's go. You guys have the floor.
All right, so I kind of want to set this up because this does kind of involve someone who used to be a part of our community and is no longer part of that. His name is J7, Montana to Rice 49. You might know him as one of those two if you've ever encountered him. And just to kind of set things up here a little bit. Me and him kind of had a little bit of a spat, if you will. Basically he had this joke where he would just, if something happened into a league, let's say like a trade happened and like he didn't like the trade, he would just blame me because I was the commissioner in a lot of leagues. But even in leagues where I wasn't the commissioner in, he'd still just like blame me kind of like as a joke, like, oh, Sush, come on, you can't let this go through. I'm like, well, I'm not commissioner, right? So it started as a joke, and then I remember I was trying to get a new league started, and I was asking some people not part of the couch community, and they were saying, no, this guy told me that you were kind of a shady commish doing all this type of stuff. So at that point, the joke had gone a little bit too far, honestly. No, seriously, at that point, like, now what's preventing me from getting guys into a league, all right? So, I told him, hey, like, this is what's going on, like, cut it out, stop it. And he continued for months after. And basically my kind of, what did I do? How did I resolve it? I removed him from my debut league in the middle of a playoff matchup. Okay. The reason why I did it was not because of personal attacks for me or whatever. I thought that he had bad intentions at this point. Like, I was telling him, hey, like, this is kind of screwing things up. And he continued to do it. At that point, it's like, all right, this guy clearly has bad intentions. And then Cash told me this story. And man, if we're talking bad intentions, I mean, what I just said has absolutely no comparison to what you're about to lead into here. It's a lot. There's a lot of evidence. It's going to be a lot of, we're going to try to organize it as best as we can. So Cash, I'm going to kind of just walk me through, give me the bottom line here. What exactly happened here? Like, honestly, what happened?
Yeah, so bottom line is a lot of irony going on with him saying you're a cheat. So essentially, he created a league, invited a bunch of people. Most people I knew, I think like eight or so out of the 12 I knew. But then last person who joins ends up being a burner account, and he's trading with himself and kind of making sure he wins the league. Obviously super shady.
So basically what you're saying is that the last guy who joined was J7 creating a second account. There's a different username, different email, whatever. And now he's in control of two teams, and he's using one team to kind of build the other up. Who cares about one team when you can just combine two into one and just dominate the league? So that's basically what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, that is wild to say that, right? I mean, that's clear-cut collusion. There's no, ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, any set of bylaws that says, hey, this league is anti-collusion, that's exactly what they mean. You cannot, control two teams or do those types of one-sided deals intentionally. So, obviously, it's a very serious accusation. In leagues that I'm in, and I'm sure a lot of other leagues, people like that just usually instantly get removed if you have proof. But it's a very serious accusation. So I just want to kind of, I guess, get started here. Like, what was the first kind of red flag, I guess, that you saw in the situation where it's like, okay, hold on, something's not right here? Because obviously you see a guy, I think the name was Freddie something. We'll get into that in a moment. Obviously you see a guy you don't recognize join. The first thought is obviously not going to be, hey, this guy's colluding. It's just some new guy, new face. We'll see what he's about. Obviously, there must have been some sort of early sign. So what was that exactly?
Yeah, so like it was very, very early into the draft. And
the startups?
Yeah, startup draft. And so he had made like a very egregious trade. It was like to his 2024 rookie first and 2025 rookie first for like a startup 7th, which, a single rookie first is worth like a 6th. So you're getting over double value of what you're paying. And his excuse was, oh, he's new to Dynasty. So at that point, I'm thinking, oh, J7 knew this guy was new to Dynasty. He's just pulling a fast one on him. Whatever, I can let that slide. But that was like the very first sign that kind of started this whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say because I mean I'm sure after that the evidence started piling up and just coming in. After that first one, usually like you kind of said, when an uneven trade or a one-sided trade happens, it definitely could be collusion, but it also could be, hey, one guy new to Dynasty just kind of got screwed over by a more seasoned, more experienced player.
Yeah.
But then, of course, everything started just kind of piling up, and there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of evidence. Some of it we're going to be able to show on screen for you guys who are watching live. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we just cannot show. There's a lot of expletives. There's a lot of just inappropriate comments littered in between, etc. So it's just kind of impossible at that point to show you everything. But we've got a lot of kind of proof here. And I kind of wanted to organize it a little bit. Like, let's first get the small things out of the way. Like, there's definitely some, circumstantial evidence, they call it. And then there's definitely some hard slip-ups. Again, I've seen all the evidence. That's kind of how I see it. So let's first kind of, I guess, go through the small things. What were some of those smaller pieces of evidence, kind of circumstantial, that you had lined up?
Yeah, I think kind of some of the first things that I was noticing, he talked very similarly, like the two accounts. I know I knew J7 kind of well. I've been in a lot of leagues with him. Like you said, used to be part of our community. I know how he talks and like kind of the things he says and like how he words things. And they sounded very similarly. I made a couple comments in chat like, "Are you sure you're not his brother?" And they laughed it off. Everyone laughed it off. Haha, whatever.
Sure.
But that was kind of just like the beginning. I think the first actual thing that I started to question if these people were fake or Freddie isn't who he says he was kind of the screenshot showed here. So Dak, great community member, he's honestly just trying to help Freddie out. He's making a joke like, hey, don't deal with Canadians, deal with Texans, because Dak's from Texas, right? And then
J7's from Canada.
Yeah, sorry, J7's from Canada. That's a big plot point here.
Yeah. J7 from Canada. Keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah. So yeah, Dak doesn't say anything bad. He's just kind of like, hey, you're kind of new, like making a joke. And then Freddie like just attacks him like as you can read, look at the way you talk, seem to lack brain cells. That's kind of the way J7 talked to Dak before. And like, if you didn't know him, if you didn't know Dak, like I feel like that'd be a wild thing to just say out of nowhere, especially when what Dak said wasn't that bad. So that was kind of like my first inclination, like why is he attacking Dak just for saying something about Canada? Well, he mentioned later that he likes Canada, but he's from California. I just found that super odd. Yeah, and he just kept saying he's from Cali. And then J7 would always say Cali the exact same way as him. So those were kind of like the first few, just like, I'm going to take some notice to this and kind of monitor, what's going on.
Looking at, just to go over the main part of this, Dak is an overwhelmingly positive, fun guy. We all love him in the Discord and the community. He, in a fun way, like a very positive way, just he's like this basically 100% of the time, in a very positive way, is trying to help out Freddie. Then Freddie calls him dumb. Like, I'm just summing up. I know you said all this, but I just want to highlight that's the important, like, okay, like, what? It's almost like, I don't know, something doesn't make sense. Dak is telling Freddie, hey, use keep trade cut, which is a calculator that all Dynasty heads love, and it helps, especially great for noobs. Or when you need extra, definitely. Like we use it almost every time, even if we don't trust it, like just as a cool little, but like, what does keep trade cut say? Like, we all use it, and he's telling them about this tool that all the Dynasty heads know about. By the way, if you guys don't know, keeptradecut.com is the Dynasty calculator to use. Not far from perfect, but it's the one we trust the most. So, that's it. Next screenshot.
Yeah, let's go on to the next one. This is just kind of highlighting the Canada Cali thing. Go ahead, Cash.
Yeah, this is kind of like right after that little bit there. He's saying kind of like, why did you just like attack Dak there? And then he's like, you know, he said bad things about my trade and from in Canada. I'm like, I feel like if you're not from Canada or like even anywhere, you're not gonna care if someone just like makes a sly comment about somewhere else. Like that's not something that's really gonna bother you. My personal opinion, maybe some people are passionate, but yeah, that's kind of where I got a little tipped off, and this whole Cali business is kind of the big parts that I put together, and then you know we could talk about that in a little bit.
Let's see what the next screenshot is, because let me see if it's coming up here. Okay, here we go then.
Yeah.
So I think this is one of the first slip ups, in my opinion, right here. We got two screenshots. One of them is of our league safe, and the other one, I guess I'll have you explain what we're looking at, Cash, on both of these ones.
Yeah, so essentially, if I could take a step back and kind of show how I noticed this. So essentially, a couple of league members in protest of some of the trades that were made at the beginning made some very bad trades that kind of put the league on pause. One member, I don't know if he's in chat. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but he requested a refund for the league because he's like, I'm done with this. Like, this is just too much drama for a standard league, which is totally understandable. Yeah. But no one knew that he requested a refund except J7, because the commish gets an email that someone's getting a refund. Well, yeah, it's Luis in the comments.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm like, so what happened was Freddie calls out Luis out of nowhere. No one said anything about this yet. No one has mentioned this. And he's like really going in on Luis, like, of course you requested a refund, yada, yada, a lot of expletives. And I'm like, I'm kind of confused on how he saw it because I didn't get an email. I asked like a few other league members. They didn't get emails that he requested a refund. I confirmed the only person who got the email was J7 about the refund. So he said he was looking in the league safe. And I'm like, that's odd because he hasn't paid, as you can see. So why was he randomly looking in the league safe at, 1:17 in the middle of the day when he hasn't paid yet? That's just super coincidental. So then at this point, I noticed that his league safe email has Rogers.com, and I'm like, I search up Rogers.com, as you can see on the right, and there it is. It's a Canadian website or internet service. So if you're from California, like he says he is, there's no way that you'd have this service. I tried to double check on that, and there's no way. So that's the first big.
You get bullied out here if you at Rogers at Rogers.com. You get so bullied, like you'd have to move to Canada after that anyway. Like that, nobody knows what that is. That's like once you see that, you're like, what is that? Your email's at Rogers.com. What is that?
Yeah. So at this point, I'm like, okay, this guy's from Canada, and who else is from Canada? Like you mentioned, J7. So this was my for sure, like, this is it moment. Like, this is definitely something here. I'm not just imagining things. So, yeah.
Okay, for sure. I know you mentioned Luis's name. I know you had something else. So, first of all, just to kind of sum up that last point, you were basically saying that the commissioner of the league safe gets an email when a refund happens, okay? But the guy who Freddie, the burner account, is the one who was mentioning the refund, and Freddie did not ask for the refund. So it's not like me getting a refund and now I'm saying in the league I got my refund. This is me saying that, hey, this other guy got his refund when I would have no idea.
Yeah,
unless I was also the commish. Okay. So now there's one more thing about Luis, which is also another mistake where I'm going to try to set it up just a little bit. I think he says something in one league and then someone else responds about it in a different league.
Yeah.
I'll let you clarify that one a little bit more.
Yeah, so at this point, I kind of looped in a couple people. I looped in Drew first, kind of to show him what I was seeing, and then we looped in Luis next. And so Luis starts thinking about stuff. He said he noticed something too about Freddie and J7. So Luis owns a taco truck. I had no idea about that. No one in our league would have any idea about that.
I'm hungry.
I was about to say, dude.
We're gonna go. It looks great. I mean, it looks great. Like it looks like some legit tacos. So one day maybe we'll all meet there. Go ahead.
So essentially, Luis and J7, they're in a different league together. A few days prior, Luis mentioned, as you can see on the right, he's going to sell tacos in his taco truck. So everyone in that league knows that. And then come to our league, here you are, Freddie, mentioning, hey, Luis, give me some tacos. Well, unless he was being racist, he would have no idea.
Hey, wait, hold. In his defense, he could be both.
That's
not.
true.
I mean, let's
true.
not.
That's
I'm just
true.
saying. I mean, come on. It's not just that he made a oopsie. He could also be racist.
That's true.
We don't know. In my opinion, allegedly, possibly, maybe, might be. Go on.
Yeah.
I'll hit you up, Luis.
Yeah. So essentially, yeah, he said something about the tacos. So that's the thing that kind of sparks the light under Luis. Like, how would he know that? Like, Luis, before he mentioned any of this to me, asked me if I knew he had a taco truck, and I was like, no. Like, he never mentioned that. I've been in a lot of leagues with him, talked with him a lot. So for Freddie to know that would be very hard. I guess very hard to do out of nowhere, but
Sure. And then
we
there
got
was one final
the
thing.
DM here. We got to tell them what they're seeing. So this is from what I understand, this is a DM that Louise showed you between him and J7. Right?
I think that's in a different league altogether.
Oh, that's not a DM. But
Yeah.
it's communication between him and J7.
In a different league that
Different league.
Freddie is not in.
Not in.
So
Yeah.
Freddie
So
will not be able to see these types of messages.
got you. Louise is saying I got a taco truck. J7 sees it in that league. And then in this league that we're talking about right here, Freddie is talking about give me some tacos.
Right.
Out the blue.
Yeah.
And again, the timing was very suspicious because it's not like, it's like a month later. Like these are within days of each other happening. I know you mentioned that you guys were on a voice call. You, Drew, Luis, a couple others perhaps. And there was one little countdown moment that, you guys told me about this. I just could not stop laughing because it was just, I mean, it's serious, obviously. But I mean, this one was just really like, okay, you definitely got him red-handed. In my opinion, after looking at all the evidence, looking at everything kind of as like an outsider, not in the league at all, just kind of looking as an outsider's perspective, I thought this was kind of that nail in the coffin, like the aha moment. Like, all right, now we know it's for sure, and not a guess or a potential type of thing. So, what was that that nail in the coffin moment, Cash?
Yeah. So the call was separate from this 3-2-1 thing. The call basically was just making sure that everyone was on the same page of what was happening, and kind of sharing evidence. Kind of going over, throwing ideas off the wall of like what's going on. I think one member mentioned that he potentially tried doing this in another league in that call, and that person left the league like right away. I don't know much about that aspect, but just kind of funny. He potentially did it twice within like a week or so. But the 3-2-1 thing. So everyone has their ears up now. They're all paying attention. And so Freddie had left the league because he said it was too much, whatever. Like he hates everybody, of course. And then he rejoined the league. So he's talking in chat once he rejoins for about 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes. So a pretty significant amount of time. And in that entire time, J7 did not show up in chat a single time. Didn't even read the chat. And then
on Sleeper, you can tell they have the logos, so you'll be able to know when his last, he last opened the app, so to speak. Okay.
Right. And so, he's getting back in, arguing with people again, kind of the same stuff that was going on before for about, like I said, 25 minutes. And then he's like, you know what, I'm done again. So he leaves the league. And then, then in chat, I'd say 3, 2, 1. And then as soon as I hit 1 and entered, J7 pops back up and starts typing and puts a message in the chat. So like it was kind of saying like, yeah, here he's coming.
So at that point, you were basically observing like, all right, now I see him seeing. Now I see the other guy leaves, and now he sees the other one. Now the other one's back, and now he finally sees. So you guys, it was so bad. It was so obvious that you were able to time it right and be like, all right, incoming message. He's about to send a message in 3, 2, 1. Bang, there it is. I mean, to me, that is just like, first of all, good work, good sleuthing that out. But my God, that is just hilarious. I mean, that's so careless. Like, if you're gonna cheat like this, come on, like, do a little bit of a better
he's not
job.
smart enough, obviously. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's just,
big facts.
I mean, the two guys act the same way.
Yeah. One more thing that actually wasn't really mentioned, but there really is no good spot to mention it. If you look at the username, Freddy4517. This is something that I kind of found out, like, or kind of pointed out rather.
Cryptography lesson here.
Yeah, way after the fact. So this is after, like, the league is disbanded and everything. Like, everyone got their refund and whatever.
This is the dumbest part of the whole story. This part kills me, dude. This part is
dude. So check this out, right? So J7, we call him J7 because his username is J and then a bunch of numbers. The first one is 7, so we just called him J7. If you look at the whole, like all the numbers, it's actually J7154. And Freddie, as you can see, is the opposite of that, the reverse, 4517. So I mean, talk about not being slick. This guy was just trying to be, in your face about it a little bit. And hey, I'm glad we weeded out a bad one there.
No. It's not. I think he thinks he's smarter than everybody. And that's how most people lose. Like, I'm smart when it comes to some things and dumb when it comes to some things. And, I've really excelled when I've learned my strengths and weaknesses. But a lot of people lose in life when they think they're smarter, just either in general or at something specific. And yeah, this could have been his I'm fooling them, but I really think he thought he'd get away with it because I mean, obviously we're dealing with a big dummy loser, small PP energy guy here. I mean, this guy's just so whack, such an idiot. So he really I really feel like he thought he'd like get away. I mean, you didn't even notice at the very, very, very end.
Yeah.
So I guess true, did fool you guys for a while. A little bit of cryptography. You had to take out your who's the guy who murdered everyone here, the serial killer? They didn't really catch him. It's huge. I'm actually in California. Shut up, Freddie. You're not from here. You ain't actually from here. Get out of here, Freddie. Zodiac Killer. Oh, there's our producer. Duh.
There you go.
Yeah, so you had to get out your cryptography book, look at the codes, be like, my God, that's how the movie ends. My God.
That was my face. That was my face.
Right in front of us the whole time. So I guess he kind of did fool you guys for a minute. But oh my god, like this is wow. Well,
Yeah.
Fred,
What a
well,
story.
Freddie,
Honestly, this what a
wow,
story.
that is nuts. You guys had the proof. You guys had everything. So from my point, this is the story from my point of view. Which I mean, I have no clue what's going on here. By the way, I'm not in this league or nothing. But I didn't really like this person, and at one point, I didn't tell anybody this. At one point, I decided to never mention this person, never mention his name. I like, it's like really not worth my time. And I'll like not waste one more second of my life, my energy talking about him. So I've made a vow to myself. So I'm like, it just ain't worth it. And we kicked him out of essentially kicked him out of Discord, essentially, just to sum all that. It's not exactly what happened, but we kicked him out. And I'm like, I'm done with this individual. Like, I just don't like, I don't want to deal with it. Not really any hard feelings, but I'm just looking out for myself. You know, he can do his thing. That's fine. You guys can be friends with him. I don't mind that at all. You guys are in several leagues. I know it's fine.
Good point. Tough.
But
Yeah, it's interesting.
don't talk to me about this guy anymore. I'm done. Like, I just don't need it. No one knew about this vow. Month later, a month after that vow, Drew calls me, and then like the first word out of his mouth is Jason. I'm like, bro, I made this vow, and like I'm done. Like I'm like, you know, it's all good. Like whatever happens, it's all good. I'm zen. I don't want to hear about it. He's like, you gotta hear this story. And then he tells me, it's like it's never any story, and he just tells me some of it, and I'm like, wow, I'm shocked. Like I never thought highly of him, and I'm just shocked he was. So that's essentially the end of the story, right? Just to make sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
So I was shocked, and like I said, I think very lowly of this person, and you know, I wouldn't talk about, like I said, I wouldn't even talked about him or thought about him, but I'm just being honest. Like I didn't think highly, and I was like, man, how could he do this? I really was shocked, and it's not about the scamming because technically this is fraud. This is a scam. By the way, this is a $50 league, right?
Yeah.
So not a ton of money, but it is some money. That's not the part. And none of you guys mentioned that in this. It's not the, oh my God, he's like trying to rob us for the money. That's definitely not the point. But that it is. I'm just wanted to say
It's part of it for
that
sure.
this
Yeah.
is fraud. This is
Right.
robbery, fraud, whatever you want to call it. It is an unethical way. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure this would be illegal. I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer. Don't quote me on that. I mean, it should be illegal. But anyway, it's just $50. That's not the point. But it is fraud. It is scam. That's not the part that really, really irked me. That I was just like, this is just, it ain't right, man. Even for a guy like J7, listen, if you're listening right now, Mr. 7, listen, even for you, bro, to do this, I mean, it hurts me, dog. It hurts the community. You little weasel. You came in the sanctity. We're all from different places and different walks of life. We all have stuff going on in our lives. We're all different races from different backgrounds, blah, blah, blah. We all come together to play fantasy football. Don't matter if you're, on the Rogers Canadian network. Don't matter if you're in Cali. We got a group of fans in Mexico. They love the couch. They're just getting into football like 5-6 years ago. It don't matter. It don't matter. We got fans in Paraguay that tune into these live streams. It don't matter. We can all go in our boys club tree. We climb the little tree house and we have our sanctity. We have our place. It's called fantasy football. It's fake. It ain't even real football where we can just lose ourselves, where we can make friendships, where we can compete, where we can have fun. And it's always there. And no one can take that away from us. And you just went in there and took a huge dump, you little weasel. How could you cross that line? How I hope you're a freaking vampire, bro, and cannot look in the, because you cannot look in the mirror. I don't care how much of a loser you are and how like, oh, I did a burner account. You cannot look at yourself in the mirror anymore, bro. You really stooped to this level that I didn't expect. You pooped all over our treehouse that everyone was invited to, that everyone could go in. And it's just shameful. And that's why I showed this, Now this guy's a big time scammer. We're talking about this guy's got a boat and like 100 G's in his pocket. But that's one reason why the people there were so pissed off. As you notice, nobody yelled about the money. Nobody yelled about the prize amount. That's not the first thing that came to their minds. This is just emotional people yelling at him and telling him to F off. Everyone was pissed because fishing, just like us with fantasy football, these guys got fishing. That's their lives. It don't matter. They have troubles with their family, whatever's going on. Saturday morning, I'm going fishing, and I can't hear nothing out on the river or lake or what. I don't know anything about fishing. Sorry.
Sure, right.
But that's what they got. And this guy poo-pooed all over it with shoving down weights down fish's throats. And it just ruined the sanctity of what they got. I mean, this event, Fisher, they're going to tell their grandkids about this guy. Like, is that epically bad?
Absolutely.
Because he ruined fishing for these guys. Just like you, J7, ruined fantasy football for us by crossing this line. I never thought you would cross this line. Now, what's the real moral of the story? Sure, it's an epic story and it's bad. There's a couple actual real morals and actual real lessons that I want you guys to take from this, like to actually apply. Like, this is legit stuff. Like, if you're thinking I'm not going to run into a guy like J7, look, that's probably true because we're talking about one of the wackiest human beings on earth. That's probably true, but there are some things you should watch out for. And I'm going to tell you, and you're going to be shocked, I think. Most of you, I think, will be shocked. So I made a video called How to Play Dynasty Fantasy Football. I should have brought it. It's something like that. The strategy. I'll bring it up just to have. I think it's a little, I just want a visual of it. It's not that important, but as I'm bringing it up, essentially it's a video on like what I like, what I don't like mostly like if you're just getting into fantasy football, that type of thing, like what to look out for. And most of the stuff in that video still holds to this day, but some people are like, oh, it's just a little old video. Yeah, some stuff maybe doesn't hit as hard, but rule number 1 in that video, let me see if I got it.
I know exactly what you're alluding to, and I agree. 100%.
Yeah. Rule number, and this is just one of the points, one of the takeaways. I'm not even done yet. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'll just say rule 1 is probably, I've seen that video a couple times. Rule 1 to me is the most important rule in any dynasty league, period. And, the importance between that rule and the next most important rule is significant. Like this number 1 rule is clearly number 1 for a strong reason. It's kind of like Bijan, right? Like Bijan, consensus 101, and a little bit of a tear drop between. So I'll let you take it away here with what you're saying.
So, yeah, you could have said it. So this is the video right here. Rule number 1, it's about the people that are in your league, especially a dynasty league, right? Redraft league is like dating or, maybe you're starting going steady. Dynasty league is like a marriage. So the people in your group's got to be good because we remember this is all about having fun, guys. We love to compete. That's cool. We can be dynasty freaks. We can be psychos. That's fine. We like to lose ourselves in this. Nothing wrong with that. That's what most of us do. Yeah. That's why you guys are tuned in right now. It's fine. I'm not judging you because you play too much fantasy football and love it and lose yourself. That's what we do. But it's got to be fun. You can't be with a bunch of jerks that quit or that just whine or just do unethical things all day. This and that. But yeah, that's rule number 1 was the people. Let me share this. It's right here.
I could add that in there. It's funny too because Drew's the one who invited me to the league. And he's like, by the way, J7 is the commissioner. And I said, I have no gripe with J7.
Fantasy Sports Dynasty League. And that's to have a good, solid group. Oh, no, I'm not. We're not. I didn't mean to cut you off. There's no audio. There's no audio, right? It's not.
There was at first.
There was. Oh, okay. I don't even hear it. That's so weird. Okay. Just go on.
Yeah. So I joined the league. I was like, you know what? J7 had his problems. It's funny because you mentioned Sushane, like all the stuff that happened with you and him. And at first, because I'm in those leagues, I thought you were exaggerating or being kind of petty at first too, to be honest with you. But egg on my face, a year later, whatever, 6 months later.
Yeah, you mentioned Couch that the redraft is like speed dating. The Dynasty is like a marriage. This guy was in our Debbie League, all right? So if you're talking about poo-pooing on a community,
Oh,
poo-pooing on the
Debbie.
sanctity or the treehouse. I mean, this is now our Debbie treehouse. This is where we have rituals at midnight where we're putting a knife in our hand, and we're putting drops in the bonfire, and we're doing those brotherly things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is where he it wasn't in the Debbie League where he allegedly was doing all this stuff. It's definitely a different league, but the fact that he ruined that kind of environment, it's disappointing. It's very disappointing. And for as much as I did not like him for all the things that Cash was just alluding to and that I mentioned earlier, I still had HAD past tense. I still had a level of respect for him because hey, the guy was winning leagues. I mean, the guy, in my opinion, at the time, he knows how to fantasy football, right? Which is I'll respect the guy who knows how to play this game. And now, of course, knowing what I know at this point in time with all the cheating allegations and whatnot, it's tough for me to say are any of those teams honest builds. Honestly, he could have cheated, and who's to say he didn't cheat in all the other leagues? So, level of respect is forget about lost. It's totally gone at this point. I would say wish him all the best, but I really don't. So,
yeah, and I don't even want to say this because it sounds like I'm like I really don't, but just to complete this story, he was a guy that I told you guys how whack he was. And you guys also thought it was like a personal vendetta that I didn't get along with him. And now you guys realize it was at first. I mean, trust me, I got to talk to, I estimate I talked to over 50,000 people since doing Fantasy Couch. It's like, yeah, I'm emotional. I make mistakes, but like, I do also talk to number 1, number 2, all the way to 50,000 and move on with my life. I usually don't hold like personal grudges. Like, how can I do this if I did? Like, he was really just that whack on my rankings list, that like, nah, not this guy. But I know you guys didn't kind of believe me. And then I know I saw it. I didn't comment, but I saw the like, and I see it in the chat too. Like, oh yeah, Couch was right. I saw that. I just want to let y'all know I saw that too back then. But
you were the pioneer.
I can't. I'm gonna be like I told you so. This is this is kind of beyond like Deebo Samuel doing well. It's a pretty big deal. I mean, I did like that, but like I didn't comment it. I was just like maybe I reacted with the emoji. Anyway, this is why I wanted you guys to listen from the beginning to the end. So if you are Dynasty freaks like these two guys down here, like a lot of people in the community, and you guys play for money, I do want you to be aware there are people not necessarily like J7, but there are people that actually scam for money, more like that fisherman. So J7's mode, I truly don't believe it was like just for the money or anything, but there are like true scam artists that do this like for better lack of a word on a professional level. And this is my boy here. He's really cool. I love this guy. I've been on his podcast. I mean, he just seems like a really cool dude. I think his name's Dynasty Dorks. I don't want to mess with Dynasty Dorks. So I'm going to play his video he did. Watch out for this guy. All right. So let me know if you cannot hear the sound. You should be able to hear the sound. All right, here we go. Everybody pay attention to this video.
So we've seen all the Netflix shows about scammers. Fantasy football has their own. There's been a few different things out there. Check out this article right here. This guy's in 185 leagues. What he's being accused of is grabbing multiple orphan teams, trading with himself just to go all in and win the league. So this is how he got caught. They used Dynasty Ranker to figure him out. This is an estimation of kind of the profit. Someone suggested giving him a refund. What do you think? Sounds like Sleeper has not done anything about it. Sounds like he's still in leagues, active. Be careful out there, folks. Scammers suck.
Let's look at some of these. Hopefully this will. Let's look at some of these numbers. That was so quick. You guys heard all that?
I've seen all the Netflix shows.
Okay. Now, because I kind of forgot. This is an old TikTok
grabbing multiple teams to go all in. This is how he got caught.
Let's see. Third team. I see something. Third team. Blah, blah, blah. Look at this number here.
180.
Mick Mac 2 is in 183 leagues, and J God is in 83 leagues. And then I saw another number, $60
To figure them
buy-in.
out. This is an estimate.
Look at this. Over 2 leagues, you net $20, multiply that by 92, blah, 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 cover you. I mean, we're talking like potentially thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Wow.
So if you guys do play Dynasty, just be aware your friends probably won't do this. I know that, like, I get it. But like if you're entering leagues like from a forum or from a Discord or like whatnot, even in our Discord, which I'm very proud of, by the way, I'm very proud of our community. Well, I guess when he did this, he technically wasn't in the community, so he was exiled. But this guy kind of came from our community, even in our community, which I love. You just got to be careful. Be careful for things like this and scammers, because this is the type of stuff that makes fantasy not fun. It's the exact opposite reason we join this hobby, if you want to call it this pastime. Now we're dealing with the same BS that we deal with in the real world. And it's like, oh, you're trying to sell me a MLM marketing pyramid scheme. Oh, like you're trying to bring this into it. You're like, why am I dealing with the same BS? Like, no, we do this to not deal with that
Exactly.
BS. So it's like, yeah, guys. So there was actually a real moral to this story and like a real like advice I want to give you guys. I mean, let me know in the chat. Did you guys know about this guy? Did you guys encounter anything like this? Because I'm guessing most have not. But I don't know. Like this guy's wild, bro. Like we're talking about like this guy has joined the same league 50 times. That's what this TikTok is.
Like you say there, like that's so much effort. Like I don't know how he didn't slip up before that. Like I can't even keep 10 regular leagues like, just by myself, let alone 50 with 2 accounts. That's crazy.
Yeah, so like J7 couldn't have the capacity to do something like that, obviously. But I mean, that's what you're talking about, a professional like guy. You know what I mean? Like he's not. See, this guy, the difference between J7 is like in there like protecting Canada and stuff. Like, bro, like stop. This guy's not even talking. You know what I mean? Like he's just in there to trade away his first round picks and get Cooper Kupp, win the league, and get like he don't even have time to DM. He doesn't even care he doesn't have notifications turned on. He just drafts, trades with himself, leaves, next league, takes the money. I mean, it can't be worth it. But there's people like this. I mean, if we caught this one guy, this guy's like, it's been pretty big news. Just think about how many more people there are. If we caught a J7 doing it, just think about how many more of him there are. Yeah. That's going to do it for this podcast. Quick little update. I saw in the chat. I forgot who said that. Tua went 3.12 in our Dynasty League. That's cool.
Very
yeah.
nice.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks, and then our turn. All right. I don't think there's any questions. We're going to end it there. Cash, thank you for hopping on. And I vow to myself from this moment on, y'all heard it. It's clear now. I'm never talking about this guy again. I'm not even thinking about him. So if you guys would like to discuss him, don't talk to me about it. I am done with it. It's over. And you guys heard the story too. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good day. Enjoy fantasy football.